Power, influence, control. These are the forces that shape the world around us, whether we like it or not. Some people rise to the top effortlessly, while others struggle in the shadows. But what if I told you that power isn't just for the lucky few? That there's a playbook, a secret formula, that has been used by history's greatest leaders, strategists, and rulers. This book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, isn't just another self-help guide. It's a masterclass in strategy, psychology, and influence. Some call it ruthless, others call it genius. But one thing's for sure, it works. In this series, I'm going to break down the most powerful lessons from this book and show you exactly how to apply them in real life. Whether you're in business, social situations, or just navigating the game of life, understanding power dynamics will give you an edge. But be warned, this knowledge is dangerous if used incorrectly. If you want to stop being manipulated, start commanding respect, and learn the art of power, then stick with me. Because once you see the game, you can't unsee it. Law 1. Never outshine the master. This world is not fair. Power is not given. It's taken. And if you don't understand the rules of the game, you'll be used, overlooked, or worse, destroyed. But what if I told you that there's a way to stand tall, take control, and rise above the competition? This book, The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, has been feared by the powerful and studied by those who refuse to be weak. And today we start with the very first law, the foundation of power. Most people think being the best, the smartest, or the most talented will get them ahead. But that's a lie. The truth? If you make the wrong person feel insecure, they will crush you before you even get started. The 48 Laws of Power is not just a book. It's a survival guide. If you want to stop being underestimated, ignored, or controlled, then you need to understand how power works. In this series, I'll be breaking down each law and showing you exactly how to use it in real life. Are you ready to take control of your life? Because once you learn these laws, the world will never see you the same way again. The fall of Nicolas Fouquet, a man who outshined his master. In the world of power, one rule stands above all: never make those above you feel small. Yet, history is filled with those who ignored this rule and paid the ultimate price. Meet Nicolas Fouquet, the man who had it all: wealth, status, influence. As the finance minister of France under King Louis XIV, he controlled the country's money and lived like a king himself. But there was one problem: he forgot who the real king was. Fouquet wanted to impress. So, he threw the most extravagant party France had ever seen. An event so grand, so breathtaking, that even the king himself was stunned. But instead of admiration, Louis XIV felt one thing: threatened. The king saw Fouquet's wealth, his connections, his confidence, and realized he was too powerful. The very next day, Louis XIV made his decision. He would not share the throne. He would destroy the threat before it was too late. Shortly after the party, Fouquet was arrested by the king's personal guards. He was charged with embezzlement, thrown into prison, and spent the rest of his life in isolation. His crime? Not theft, not treason, but daring to shine too brightly in front of the Sun King. This is why the 48 Laws of Power warns us: never outshine the master. If you want to survive in a world of power, make those above you feel secure, even superior. Fouquet's mistake cost him everything. The danger of showing your power too soon. Power is like a weapon, and the deadliest weapons are the ones you never see coming. Yet most people make a critical mistake. They show their strength too soon, too loudly, and to the wrong people. And that is how they fall. History proves this time and time again. The moment you reveal all your power, you become a target. Those above you feel threatened. Those around you become jealous. And those beneath you start plotting your downfall. Think of a warrior. The strongest one does not wave his sword around for all to see. He keeps it hidden, sharp, ready, but unseen. He waits. He observes. And when the moment is right, he strikes with precision and certainty. This is the art of strategy. This is how power is truly gained. If you're ready to stop being a pawn and start playing the game, follow me. Because once you understand the rules, the world will never see you the same way again. The fate of Marcus Licinius Crassus, the price of outshining a master. Power. It calls to men like a whisper in the dark, promising wealth, glory, and dominion. But history has taught us one cruel lesson. He who shines too brightly in the presence of his master will be extinguished. Tonight, I bring you the tale of Marcus Licinius Crassus, the wealthiest man in Rome. He had gold, power, influence, but he wanted more. He wanted to stand above all men, even those who made him. And for that, he paid the ultimate price. A man who wanted it all. Crassus was no ordinary man. He was richer than kings, controlling Rome's wealth with an iron grip. But money was never enough. He watched as Pompey the Great and Julius Caesar, his so-called allies, commanded armies and shaped the empire. He had been their benefactor, their supporter, but he was not their equal. And that enraged him. The fatal mistake. Blinded by ambition, Crassus led an army into the Parthian Empire, seeking conquest. He ignored the warnings. He dismissed the dangers. After all, was he not greater than all who came before him? The Parthians attack. Arrows darken the sky. Roman soldiers fall, screaming. Panic spreads like wildfire. But Rome had no power here. The master he sought to outshine, Caesar, Pompey, even the gods themselves, had turned their gaze away. The price of hubris. A Parthian king lounges on his throne, watching as Crassus, chained, humiliated, is dragged before him. And so, the wealthiest man in Rome was brought low. But his captors were not content with his death. No, they sought a punishment fitting for one who had worshipped gold above all else. A servant steps forward, holding a molten pot. Liquid gold shimmers as it is poured, straight into Crassus' mouth. He thrashes, his screams muffled as he drowns in the very thing he craved most. Marcus Licinius Crassus had everything, but he wanted more. He wished to stand equal to the greats, to cast a shadow over those who had once stood above him. But no man escapes his place. Outshine your master and you invite ruin. Reach too high, and the heavens will strike you down. History remembers Crassus, not as a conqueror, not as a hero, but as a fool whose hunger led him to choke on his own greed. The most dangerous mistake: never outshine the master. Power is a game most people don't even realize they're playing. But whether you see it or not, it's everywhere, at work, in school, in relationships, in everyday life. And if you make one wrong move, you won't even know what hit you until it's too late. This is Law 1 from the 48 Laws of Power. And if you fail to understand it, you will suffer, not because you did something wrong, but because you did too much, right in front of the wrong person. Now listen carefully, because after tonight, you'll start seeing the dangers everywhere. Now let's take a real-life scenario where you are the employee. You're good at your job, maybe even better than your boss. You solve problems fast, you bring in ideas, and suddenly people notice you. They praise you. And your boss? He starts seeing you as a threat. The boss forces a smile, but his grip tightens on his coffee mug. You think he'll reward you? Promote you? No. He'll silence you before you make him look small. Maybe he'll take credit for your work. Maybe he'll start nitpicking everything you do. Maybe one day you'll walk in and find your desk empty. Lesson: make your boss feel secure. Let them have the spotlight. Make them feel like your success is because of them, not in spite of them. Now let's take a different scenario of school. The student who answered too many questions. A classroom. A bright student raises their hand, answering question after question. The teacher forces a tight-lipped smile. Classmates whisper behind their back. In school, intelligence is praised, but only in moderation. The student who raises their hand too often, who makes the teacher feel outmatched, who makes classmates look dull. They will not be admired. They will be resented, mocked, maybe even sabotaged. Lesson: blend in. Be smart but not threatening. Let others feel like they are learning with you, not being left behind. Now, let's talk something that everyone goes through once in their lifetime: relationships. When you love someone too much, yes, even in love, power is at play. If you put someone too high on a pedestal, if you make them feel like they are the center of your world, they will not appreciate it. They will despise it. The partner looks uncomfortable, pulling away. Attraction fades, and soon, they leave. Lesson: love should never feel one-sided. If you put someone too high above you, they will look down on you. Balance the scales or prepare to be discarded. Now let's talk about everyday life. There is always a friend who always wins. A group of friends playing a game. One player dominates every round, showing off their skills. The others exchange uneasy glances. Even among friends, nobody likes to feel lesser. Win too much, show off too much, make everyone feel like they are living in your shadow, and watch how quickly they turn against you. So, the lesson is: let others have their victories. Make them feel good about themselves. Being the best means nothing if you stand alone. Up until now you have seen how power is a good thing, only if it is hidden or used in moderation. We also saw how showing your power to the wrong person can be deadly. So you might be wondering that, if we do not show our excellence, then how are we supposed to rise? Don't worry. I am here for you. Now I am going to guide you step by step that how you can thrive and achieve great success without being targeted. The world is full of people trying to prove themselves. They push, they show off, they demand recognition, only to find that the more they shine, the more enemies they make. But what if I told you there's another way? A way to live a life of peace, success, and fulfillment without ever becoming a target. The simple: hide your power. Never outshine the master. Not because you are weak, not because you fear them, but because you are wise. Because you understand something most people never will. True power is not in being seen. It is in being undeniable while remaining unnoticed. Lesson 1. Be the quiet force that moves everything. You don't need to be in the spotlight to have influence. Yes, you heard it right. Some people think that if they are not excessively popular or known by the masses, then they can never gain power, but that's not how it works. You can still have influence. Rather than chasing a horde of sheep, tame a wolf who will provide you with content supply of sheep. In simple words, let others believe they are leading while you gently guide them. In the office, at school, even in your relationships, let people feel important. Let them take the credit if they need to, because when they feel secure, they will trust you, rely on you, and protect you. And before they even realize it, they will need you more than you need them. And when they will depend on you, you will gain power over them. Lesson 2. Stay humble, but be unstoppable. The strongest warriors don't boast. The smartest people don't need to prove themselves. The ones who truly hold power are those who do not flaunt it. People think that they need to show others they might be their boss, your senior, or your friends and family, that they are great. But that's foolishness. Remember, just show enough that will prove your point. Because you are here to gain power, not to make enemy out of people. When you are humble, when you make others feel comfortable around you, they never see you as a threat. And that means you are free to grow, free to observe, free to win without resistance. Let others chase attention. You will chase mastery. And in the end, the world will give you what others tried to steal. If you live like this, your life will be free from unnecessary battles. You will have success, influence, and respect, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it without a fight. You will never fear being taken down because no one will see you as a threat. And yet, quietly, you will have everything you ever wanted. That is the power of staying hidden. That is the peace of never outshining the master.